Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the Left-Overz, a show that is sponsored by absolutely nobody, nor should it be, because it's just the pathetic ramblings of an open mic comic literally going over his leftover ideas. I'm outside by a body of water, so what better place than to talk about toilet humor as a gentle, babbling brook streams water by. And I don't know how long this show's gonna go because I don't know how long I can hold it. But I talked a little bit about this on the last episode of the Leftovers, so it's kind of like a leftover. And if you've ever had leftovers, they only get worse and worse as time goes on. But I got into Eddie Izzard, a person that I have a lot of admiration for. I got into it and expressed that, Eddie Izzard identifies as a transgender woman who also is interested in women, so perhaps a transgender lesbian. I don't know. There's so many different terms and stuff, so just bear with me. That was half the problem why I'm going over this again, because during it I kept saying same-sex bathrooms. That's something that Eddie Izzard is interested in, but it's not same-sex bathrooms. He's interested in unisex bathrooms. That's the word I was looking for. And I'm sure these words will change. So many different non-binary, and there's so many different pronouns and all these kind of stuff. So look, he wants to have bathrooms that everybody can go in, guy, girl, in between, whatever, anything else. He wants everybody can use the same restroom. And personally, I was opposed to the idea, not because of any reasoning regarding someone of the opposite sex going to the restroom, but more so because of I think the restroom should be like a sacred place, right? You know what I mean? This should be a place for it should be non-discriminatory, right? And as a guy or as a girl or in between, I think everybody deserves a place where they can go, where they can't be followed. You know what I mean? Can you imagine just let's say I'm at work, right? I work in an office building, and let's say I'm a woman, and this guy named Bill or whatever in accounting or whatever, every day at lunch he comes over to the table, wants to strike up a conversation, looks like he's interested in me in a way that's not professional. He keeps talking about hanging out outside of work, blah, blah, blah. But this day, I can't get away from him. You know what I mean? It's a slow day. Most of the office is closed. It's a holiday day or something like that. I can always say, excuse me, but I have to go to the restroom. Now, normally that's fine. That'll give you time to distance yourself, unless he's a complete creep and he's just waiting outside of the restroom door. But can you imagine if now he can follow you into the restroom? How annoying that would be. Or that's kind of like in a negative situation, but even let's say a not so negative situation. You're out, and let's say I'm a guy this time. I'm going out, I'm on a date with a girl, right? And we're hitting it off, and then I start getting nervous. My palms start getting sweaty. It's pretty much like a whole 8 Mile situation. You know what I mean? And I'm like, hey, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go use the restroom. This person can follow me in while I gather my thoughts. Now, so we're gonna have to have a whole new kind of etiquette as far as bathrooms. But that's not even the main reason why I was opposed. The main reason why I was opposed had to do with him removing the urinal. He thinks that it's not necessary, and I get what he's saying. He's like, how many people have a urinal in their home, right? It's a function that you can do with your standard toilet, and the standard toilet is more appeasing for both parties. Male or female, non-binary, blah, blah, blah. I can't keep doing this. Look, I'm just gonna talk about people. I love people, okay? I'm not gonna keep going over he, she, and all this kind of stuff. We're talking about people, right? And so the standard toilet, commode, whatever preference you have, laboratory, whatever, that instrument, whatever it is, that they're saying that he's saying that that's the best option opposed to the urinal. Now, the urinal does have its drawbacks. It's only has one function. However, I have seen it used in multiple facets before, and it wasn't a good situation. I've seen that, and that's one of the things too, that like you're going to be exposing everybody to this situation. For guys, it's like a rite of passage, and there's like, you know, there's a certain thing. You go into the restroom, you know, you never know what's going to happen. You know, I talked about it on the last episode about it gets slippery in there, you know, like it's not a nice place. And so I don't know if having women using the restroom will like counteract that, if guys are going to step up their game, or will it be like one bad apple spoils the bunch and we're just going to have like humanity descend into this like space where every bathroom is atrocious. Like I've went into a women's restroom before, you know, only on emergency, you know, and only when it's like one of those single stall ones. I've never been brave enough to go into the one where I never been, but I should be, hey, look, I have to go. Oh my gosh, you shouldn't be in here. Look, I have to use the restroom. I can't hold it, and all the men stalls are full. I get it. There are benefits to having a co-ed restroom. However, the cleanliness level of the women's restroom 9 times out of 10 is far better, far exceeds what's going to happen in the men's restroom. And I'm not even going to go over it, but guys know. You know what I mean? I don't even want to put that into the minds of women, but I'm just letting you know it's not a good thing. You talk to anybody who works in any kind of janitorial situation, that is not the place that you want to be. But, you know, when I was thinking about that, as far as just on the urinal part about getting rid of the urinals, I'm like, wait a second, is that discrimination? You know what I mean? Like something, because there's all kind of rules that go to the urinal. Like if I'm at one side of the urinal, right, and there's multiple stalls, you're not supposed to pick the one next to me. That's just a unwritten rule that everybody knows. Like you go to it's like someone parking right beside you when there's like 3 parking spots. I'm like, come on, dude, I haven't even opened my door yet, and you're parked right next to me, and it's more inconvenient. You can't get out. You got to be more on guard. Safety issues, things could spray places they're not supposed to. Like that's the main drawback of like someone parking right next to you. Then there's other etiquette, like, you know what I mean, like how far open do you open your door, right? Like if it's a car situation, like do you have to pop your trunk too? And there's people they pop their trunk and they open the door at the same time, and sometimes people just come, like it's like a convertible, and they just take the whole hood off the car. I'm like, why are your pants by your ankles? Like, why? This isn't necessary. Why are you using the restroom like a 4-year-old? I don't understand this. And you're right next to me. It's not a and I don't want to subject everybody to that. You know what I mean? Like, I think guys got to understand, like, whoa, that was weird. But to subject everybody to that same situation. And then the other part that scares me is because the bathroom, right? And going to the bathroom is such a sacred thing, right? It's such a private thing that it's going to expose maybe some of our not so nice qualities about being human. Look, I'm a nice person. I'll open the door for anybody. Guy, girl, doesn't matter. You know, I'm a nice person. I try to look out for them. But when I get into the restroom, it's every person for themselves. There is no, like let's say like I'm on a bus and a woman walks by and she's holding grocery bags and she's having a frustrating situation or whatever. I might relinquish my seat. I'm like, madam, would you like to sit here? Or miss, da-da-da, madam. I don't say madam. Miss, would you like to sit? Would you like to have a seat? She, oh, thank you. You're so kind, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you know. But when it comes to the restroom, if a woman were to come in and starts banging on, boom, 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 excuse me, I need to get into the restroom, it's an emergency. It's like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I thought you were a gentleman, please let me, I can't help. I can't do that. We're in this together. We all got our own situation. And so that mystique is that, can you imagine if you had to, like, I mean, that's one of the major, I'm convinced, I don't have any evidence to back this up, but I'm convinced that a lot of breakups happen once people move in. And it's not the clothes being all over the place. It's not the time that the person comes home. It's not how filthy they leave the kitchen. It's directly correlated to how and when the restroom is being used. You don't go in and take a number 2 when I'm taking a shower. Okay? Nor do I take a number 1 while you're taking a bath. Nor do I, and even, and it's like, well, sometimes you have to, okay, sometimes you have to, but one thing is for certain, when you're taking a shower and you're using, and that's why you don't go number 2 while someone's taking a shower, because if you flush, number 1, it can mess up the water, and the water will turn cold. It's a terrible situation, depending on your piping. Maybe some newer homes are fitted differently, maybe whatever. But that's a bad situation. And then you're left with the only other option is that you leave it in there, which is not a good one either. So those are 2 ways to look at that one. But what else would I say? What's up, y'all? But
So you chilling, man?
oh yeah, just hanging out. But there's people walking by, and I didn't want to feel like talking about bathroom humor or just bathroom situations. And I don't know how I would explain to those people, like, hey, yeah, I'm talking about unisex bathrooms. Because like I said, it's a private thing. There's so much that goes into the restroom. You know what I mean? And anyway, that completely took my train. It's one of those things, man. Like, I'm pretty shy when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, I'm really, I guess it comes from my background. I come from like a urinate and bowel movement background. And other people come from a pee and poop background. I'm not a big fan of the words pee and poop. I'm not a fan. Dookie, absolutely not. Like, I'm not telling you what you should say, but like, I'm not a pee or poop person. I can defecate. I can expel fecal matter, but I don't poop. And that's another thing too. Women don't poop. At least that's what people don't want to believe. And like, that's a situation, you're just opening up for so many vulnerabilities. And, you know, like I said, toilet humor isn't my strong suit, which is why it's appearing on the Left-Overz. But like, what if there's a chick in there, she's just ripping it up? I'm just talking like full on, I'm talking about like of epic proportions. You know what I mean? Like, can you, like, Twitter, I just don't even want to get into you. Just let your mind run. You know what? I'm done with this. Thanks for watching, listening, whatever. Have a good one.